is up, Sexy Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be comparing the RK5 to the HAILSTORM and looking at both these weapons on round 50, so let's go ahead and get this shit started. So when we compare these weapons, I'm not going to have attachments on either of these weapons just because there's so many different attachments that you can put, and you can sort of just model the gun to how you play zombies, and I really don't think it would be fair to have attachments on it, so we're just going to be looking at the base gun, and the first thing I'm going to do is let you guys watch and listen to both these weapons, both the unupgraded version and the upgraded version, so that way you guys can sort of get a feel for it, so here you go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the fire rate and the recoil. So when we compare both these fire rates side by side, I start shooting at the exact same time. The RK5 is just way faster than the HAILSTORM. When I was actually getting the footage for both these weapons, I got the RK5 first and then the HAILSTORM. When I was just getting the footage and not like comparing them, it didn't seem like the HAILSTORM was that much slower until I actually put them side by side, and I was like, wow, there's like a huge difference. Usually with a lot of other weapons that I compare, and usually just like with burst weapons in general, they're pretty close, but when it comes to these two weapons, the RK5 just blows the HAILSTORM out of the water. It's just so much more faster than it. And when it comes to the recoil of both these weapons, I'm kind of just going to say they're even. Neither of these weapons have too much recoil or anything like that. In all honesty, they're very, very accurate. Like little to no recoil is going to be with either of these weapons. So when it comes to that, I'm going to say they're tied. And when it comes to the ammo, both these weapons are going to hold 15 in the magazine, and the RK5 is going to hold 120 in stock, while the HAILSTORM, I believe, is going to hold 135 in stock. So it does carry a little bit more ammo, just like one magazine's worth. So when it comes to ammo with the unupgraded versions, the HAILSTORM does win, but it's such a minuscule amount that it really doesn't matter. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the hipfire. So when we compare both these hipfires side by side, there is an obvious winner. The RK5 definitely wins this one. So when you actually hipfire with the RK5, the gun kind of just goes up a little bit, and other than that, it's extremely accurate. That reticle is really, really tiny, and those bullets are always going to be inside of that reticle, and you can kind of compensate just by aiming down a little bit to hold the recoil on that weapon. While with the HAILSTORM, on the other hand, there really isn't too much recoil. It's just that reticle is extremely big, and those bullets are going to go all over the place, and there's really nothing you can do to stop that, in all honesty, except for just by getting closer to the zombie. But still, the RK5 is actually pretty far away from this wall, while the HAILSTORM is actually pretty close, and the RK5 is just way more accurate. So when it comes to hipfire, I'm definitely going to give this one to the RK5. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the reload speed. So when we start reloading at the exact same time, again, the RK5 is going to win this one. The RK5 in general is just such a faster weapon than the HAILSTORM. Now when it comes to strength, I can't exactly say. Again, two different games. But when it comes to which unupgraded weapon I would rather have, I don't know. I really do like the HAILSTORM. Like, the RK5 may be faster, but there's just something about the looks and sounds and the overall feel of the HAILSTORM that I just really, really enjoy. And plus, you can get the dual wield attachments on this weapon, which I just absolutely love. So when it comes to the unupgraded versions, I do think the RK5 is the superior weapon. I just happen to prefer the HAILSTORM a little bit more. Alright, so when we actually upgrade these weapons, the RK5 is going to become the Rex Caliber 115. It's going to hold 30 in the magazine and 180 in stock. And the HAILSTORM is going to become the Tropical Thunder, which they could have fucking named it Tropic Thunder. That would have been a great name for it, but they had to add those two extra goddamn letters. And it's going to hold 28 in the magazine, I think 200 something in stock. I can't remember the exact number, but it's literally almost going to be like double what the RK5 actually does hold. And when we compare both these fire rates side by side, again, the RK5 is still going to be a lot faster. Now, I try to make this comparison as even as possible because you really can't get the same amount of bullets in the magazine at the same time. So I had 27 with the RK5 and 28 with the HAILSTORM. Now, one interesting thing about the HAILSTORM, when you actually upgrade it, it becomes an automatic weapon. It still is a burst weapon, but now you just have to hold down the trigger and it's just going to keep shooting and shooting. While with the RK5, you still have to press the button every time you want to shoot, and it still is a burst weapon. And when it comes to the recoil of both these upgraded weapons, I'm kind of got to say they're the exact same. If I had to pick a winner, I would definitely say the HAILSTORM. HAILSTORM kind of just looks like it doesn't move whatsoever, while you can actually notice that the RK5 does kind of bob up and down every now and then. But for as far as pistols go, I think they're pretty even. Alright, and the next thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the hipfire, and it's going to be the exact same as the unupgraded versions. The HAILSTORM is going to be extremely inaccurate. It's going to be going all over the place, while the RK5 is going to be very accurate, and the bullets are going to go exactly where you want it to go. So the winner for that is, again, going to be the RK5. And when it comes to the reload speed, the RK5 is again going to be the winner. The RK5 is just such a faster weapon than the HAILSTORM, and even when you upgrade it, nothing really changes. So lastly, before we actually look at both these weapons on round 50 and scene 50, we're going to look at both these weapons with double tap and speed cola in their own respected games. And when we actually compare these weapons side by side, they both do get a lot faster. And I don't know if both speed colas and double taps do the exact same thing in each game, but they both do get a lot faster. And of course, you can still tell that the RK5 is the superior weapon. But that lead that the RK5 did have over the HAILSTORM definitely does shrink down. Now, it could just be because they both got just so much faster that it's hard to tell, or it could actually be that the perks in Zombies in Spaceland are a little bit better than the ones in Black Ops 3. I don't know about the specifics, but it does look like the HAILSTORM did catch up a little bit to the RK5, but the RK5 is still the superior weapon. Now, when it comes to both these weapons on round 50 or scene 50, neither of them can really do much. The HAILSTORM is going to kind of poop out, I would say, in the 30s to 40s, and once you hit on scene 50, it's really not going to do anything unless you have a double pack-a-punch ability on it, or like the elemental upgrades or whatever you want to call it. Without that, this thing is really not going to do anything on scene 50. And again, you can kind of customize this weapon to how you want it to be, and I like the dual wield attachment on it. It may not be the best for zombies, but for taking out brutes, even on scene 50, this thing is amazing. So when it comes to zombies on scene 50, the HAILSTORM really can't do much, but when it comes to the brutes, the HAILSTORM dual wield is my go-to weapon, and that's just why I always grab them every time I play. But when it comes to the RK5, on the other hand, it's just going to struggle to get some kills on round 50. Against boss zombies, it's still going to struggle. It doesn't really carry that much ammo. It may be faster, yes, which is really good on early rounds, but it just doesn't carry enough ammo, and it doesn't have the power to really do anything on the later rounds. I feel like if this weapon just carried more ammo, it would actually be a pretty decent weapon on high rounds, but it just carries so little and has such a fast fire rate that you're going to go through ammo so fast that you're going to find yourself constantly going back and getting more and more ammo, which is something you really never want to do during the middle of a round. So when it comes to which weapon is better on their own respected scene or round 50, I'm going to give it to the HAILSTORM, not because it's better at killing zombies, but because it is better at taking out the brutes than the RK5 is better at taking out, I would say, like the Panzer, the Margwa, or anything else like that. But when it actually comes to killing zombies, neither of these weapons can really do anything. So my final verdict is going to be the RK5 is going to be a better weapon on early rounds just because it has such a superior fire rate and is just a faster weapon in general. But when it comes to the later rounds, I think the HAILSTORM is going to reign supreme just because it is very good at taking out those brutes, and those brutes are a huge pain in the ass. Now when it comes to which weapon do I actually prefer, I'm going to go with the HAILSTORM. I think it looks better, I think it sounds better, and I love that dual wield attachment, and again, like I just said, it's so fucking good at taking out brutes that I just love these weapons. So I'm very curious to know, which weapon do you guys happen to prefer? Not which weapon do you guys think is stronger, just which weapon do you guys like in general. So if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Peace.